Okay, so let's start. Forget those, gleaming Silicon Valley campuses for just a second. Our story today kicks off somewhere, way more unexpected. Think a booth in a Denny's diner.
A Denny's?
Seriously? Yeah, seriously. That's where Jensen Huang, the guy behind NVIDIA, apparently sketched out the very first ideas. Fast forward, 3 decades? And suddenly his company hits this mind-blowing $4 trillion market cap.
$4 trillion? That's just staggering.
Right, and his personal fortune shoots up to something like $151 billion by July 2025, which is incredible numbers.
Okay, so there's the hook.
Exactly. So how does a guy who started out like that, humble beginnings doesn't quite cover it, make a move so audacious, so far ahead of its time that it basically reshaped the entire future of AI computing and, completely stunned Wall Street?
That's the real question, isn't it? It's not just about getting rich.
No, this isn't just another rags to riches tale for you. We want to explore the strategy here. Calculated, bold, the kind that builds a real legacy.
What kind of thinking leads to that? What's the mindset?
Yeah, and how do you play a game where the stakes aren't just billions, but history itself? So today we're going deep. We're going to unpack the untold strategies, maybe some surprising facts behind one of the most, frankly, jaw-dropping business stories of our time. Let's get into it.
Sounds good. Where do we begin? Denny's.
We begin at Denny's, late 1992. Picture it. Not some fancy boardroom, right? A diner off Berryessa Road, East San Jose. You've got Jensen Huang, Chris Malachowski, Curtis Prime, all in their 30s, huddled in a booth.
Just talking, dreaming maybe.
Seriously debating launching a startup. And here's the kicker, Jensen Huang's personal link to Denny's. Years before, as a Taiwanese immigrant kid, he actually washed dishes at a Denny's to pay rent while he was studying electrical engineering.
Wow. So that place had real meaning for him.
You could say that. That diner table, kind of the unlikely birthplace of a multi-trillion-dollar company. They officially founded NVIDIA April 5th, 1993. Very little seed funding. A modest apartment was their first office.
Humble beginnings is right.
But from day one, Huang saw 3D computing as way more than just, better video games. He saw it as a total rethink of computer architecture.
And it's fascinating how those humble beginnings, they really did shape what you might call his strategic humility.
Strategic humility. What do you mean by that?
Well, it's not just being modest, right? It's this deep, almost gut-level understanding of vulnerability, of scarcity, that then becomes a kind of strength. Think about his childhood. Immigrating as a kid, living in a boys' dorm in rural Kentucky by 15.
Without speaking English initially, right?
Exactly. School without English, feeling like an outsider. He called those experiences brutal. Not just the language barrier, but learning how to survive, how to fit in, how to observe.
So that built resilience.
Absolutely. That's where he developed this incredible knack for observing, adapting, and just plain outlasting. Those became his, secret weapons. Forged a really unique kind of toughness.
And you can totally see that toughness, that resilience, showing up in a core principle he baked into the company. Became almost legendary, didn't it? The 30-day rule.
Ah, yes, the 30-day rule. Yeah. Always operate like you're about to go broke.
Right. He literally mandated that the company act as if it only had 30 days of cash left, even when they were profitable. He told a reporter once something like, "We lived as if bankruptcy was a day away. That's how we focused."
Which sounds terrifying.
Well, he argued it wasn't about creating fear. It was about forcing radical clarity, sharpening decisions, stripping away ego, demanding this almost ruthless discipline.
And in the early days, that wasn't just a mindset exercise.
Oh, no. For a long time, it was just the cold, hard truth. They were close to the edge.
Right. And if you connect that to, the broader lesson for anyone building something.
Yeah.
The 30-day rule isn't just finance. It's about how extreme focus, maybe even self-imposed constraints, can cut through all the noise, force brilliant disciplined choices.
And you saw that play out almost immediately, didn't you, with their first product?
Oh, yeah. The NV1 graphics card, total failure, partners bailed, revenue just evaporated.
So what happened? Panic.
Well, Huang, remember, no business background to speak of. He had to learn everything on the fly, negotiating with suppliers, figuring out how to make payroll, delaying his own salary for months.
Wow.
Trial by fire, completely. But instead of folding, he did what an engineer does. He dissected the failure, figured out what went wrong, and then he took their tiny remaining resources and bet everything on the next chip, the RVA 128.
That was the one that hit.
Big time. Launched in '97. Crucially, it aligned perfectly with Microsoft's DirectX, which was becoming the standard for game graphics. Sold over 1 million units in the first 4 months. Huge turnaround.
So the success wasn't just the chip itself.
No, the real triumph was that operating system inside his mind. Like you said, forged by scarcity, obsessing over survival, not just profit margins. That's a powerful takeaway for any venture, really.
Okay, so they survived, they learned brutal discipline, and then comes this incredibly audacious move, the risky bet on CUDA. This was 2006.
CUDA.
Huang basically redirects massive company resources towards this totally new architecture. The idea was to let GPUs, graphics chips, do high-performance computing, not just draw pictures.
Which at the time, nobody was asking for.
Exactly. Analysts were baffled. Even some NVIDIA engineers were apparently skeptical. GPUs were seen as niche, right, for gamers.
Pretty.
So why? Why pour so much into something the industry wasn't even hinting it needed? Seems totally against the grain for a company that just clawed its way back.
That's the million-dollar question, or maybe trillion-dollar question now, right? And it just speaks volumes about Huang's foresight. He saw something others didn't.
Which was?
He believed that the parallel processing power, the thing that made GPUs great for rendering complex game scenes simultaneously, could eventually be applied to other massive problems. Things like genomics, physics simulations, and the big one, artificial intelligence. This was way before machine learning was on everyone's lips.
So he was betting on a future market that didn't exist yet.
Pretty much. And for nearly a decade, CUD was, well, a lonely project. People criticized it, called it a costly distraction. Adoption was slow.
Must have taken real conviction to stick with it.
Immense conviction.
Yeah.
He kept pushing, kept evangelizing. Then came 2012, the turning point. AlexNet. A University of Toronto team used NVIDIA GPUs to train this deep learning model. And it didn't just win the ImageNet competition, it smashed the records. A huge breakthrough in computer vision.
And suddenly GPUs weren't just for games anymore.
That was the irreversible shift. Suddenly, big players like Google, Meta, eventually OpenAI, they realized this was the way forward. They started building their AI breakthroughs, things like ChatGPT, on NVIDIA chips.
And the market just exploded.
Completely.
Yeah.
By Q1 2025, NVIDIA had something like over 80% of the AI training chip market, and still over 90% of the discrete GPU market for PCs. CUDA wasn't just an experiment anymore.
It became their moat. Their competitive advantage.
Exactly. A massive defensible moat built over a decade of lonely work.
It's amazing how those strategic bets, that patience, led to what we're calling the invisible power play. By 2025, NVIDIA wasn't just a component supplier. It had somehow become maybe the most essential, least replaceable company in the entire digital world.
Yeah, the plumbing. The absolute foundation.
Hitting that $4 trillion market cap, blowing past Apple, Microsoft, even Saudi Aramco. That wasn't just about stock price, was it? It signaled immense underlying leverage.
Definitely.
NVIDIA had woven itself into the fabric through its chips, obviously, but also the software stack CUDA is crucial, and the AI platforms like DGX, the Blackwell GPUs, it's the whole package.
It's rare to see a company become so deeply embedded in the fundamental architecture of, well, everything digital.
Right. It's remarkable.
And it shows how Huang really understood a core truth about influence, about power. It's not always about being the loudest, it's about what others depend on.
And by the mid-2020s,
no serious AI company could scale without NVIDIA hardware, period. You saw the cloud giants, Amazon, Google, Microsoft scrambling, fighting for allocation. Governments started treating chip exports like, oil negotiations. It became geopolitical.
So Huang became this unexpected player on the world stage.
In a way, yeah. Navigating complex export rules, lobbying, NVIDIA became this weird constant in a really fractured global tech landscape.
And internally, still hands-on.
Apparently very much so. Despite owning less than 4% of the stock, which is unusual for a founder-CEO of that stature, he acts as the central brain, demanding precision, focusing on the details, not the theatrics.
Which fits with this idea that he's playing a much longer game. You called it the 50-year game, a generational vision, maybe?
Seems like it. I mean, think about it. 2025, $4 trillion valuation, $151 billion personal net worth. You could easily cruise, right?
Take the victory lap.
Instead, he doubles down. Deeper into infrastructure, next-gen architecture. It's no accident they now own that entire AI stack. From CUD software to the DGX systems, the Blackwell chips, Omniverse for simulation, even NVIDIA blueprint for physical AI. It's all one cohesive, incredibly ambitious strategy.
It's comprehensive.
And it really highlights his unique leadership style, too, which is marked by, well, restraint.
How so?
In this age of CEOs is like personal brands, constantly on social media doing endless interviews. Huang is the opposite. He rarely grants interviews, avoids the whole personal branding thing, just lets NVIDIA's work speak. You almost never see him chasing the spotlight.
Well, even at major events.
Well, take the 2025 CES keynote. He was there, introducing the next big thing, physical AI. AI that can reason, plan, interact with the real world. Huge concept. But when asked what drives him, he just said something simple like, I just want to make things that matter for a very long time.
Wow, that says a lot.
It really does. It encapsulates that long-term vision. And you know that plaque they have at NVIDIA HQ on a replica at Denny's booth?
I heard about that. What does it say?
The table where a trillion-dollar company was born. It's this perfect symbol, right? Greatness starting with clarity, sacrifice, and just brutal, relentless patience.
Which brings us back to the journey itself. Because it clearly wasn't smooth sailing. NVIDIA's rise wasn't linear at all. It was full of near-death experiences, right?
Yeah.
Misfires.
Oh, absolutely. Plenty bumps.
Which leads to this other core part of his mindset, seeing crisis as catalyst. He didn't just survive setbacks. He seemed to use them, like strategic pressure cookers for evolution.
Yeah, he always seemed to choose evolution, even when it was incredibly painful. That operating system we talked about really comes through here.
Like with the MV1 failure.
Exactly. That didn't crush the company. It forced a radical pivot to the Raviar 128, which saved them. Then, fast forward to the 2008 financial crash. What did most companies do?
Cut back, hunker down, slash R&D.
Right, Huang. He invested heavily in CUDA during the downturn. It looked totally reckless to outsiders.
But he saw an opening.
He saw an opportunity to gain ground while competitors were retreating. Bold move. And maybe the biggest test was the COVID pandemic and the global chip shortages that followed. Chaos everywhere.
Total chaos for supply chains.
While everyone else was scrambling for short-term fixes, Huang was apparently making long-term deals, securing manufacturing capacity years out, and crucially, accelerating their work on AI-specific chips.
So when the AI demand went supernova...
NVIDIA was years ahead. They had the capacity, they had the architecture. It was masterful looking back.
And he applies that same analytical approach even to his own mistakes.
Yeah, he's known for being introspective, publicly deconstructing his own misjudgments sometimes. He calls it building from broken parts, treating every error, every failure as data, input for the next iteration.
Constant improvement, even on himself. So, okay, let's try to wrap this up. When we pull it all together, what emerges is this picture of Jensen Huang having this really unique mentality, doesn't it? Forged in hardship, the immigrant experience, sharpened by this intense technical obsession, and guided by this refusal to rush things, to chase hype.
Definitely not chasing hype.
His journey from washing dishes to a $151 billion fortune.
Yeah.
It wasn't luck. It wasn't hype. It wasn't inheritance. It was discipline disguised as delay, maybe. Precision over panic.
And always focusing on those long arcs, right? Not just the next quarter's earnings.
Yeah, long arcs over short wins.
And what's so fascinating is how he played moves like CUDA that made zero sense to the outside world for years. It just seemed like a waste. Until almost overnight, it felt like they became utterly indispensable. The whole world needed them. His leadership feels like a kind of quiet rebellion against all the noise, the short-term thinking that dominates so much. It's this deep commitment to the craft, so deep that even failure becomes fuel, and power just builds slowly, almost invisibly, until suddenly the entire system depends on it.
So maybe that's the final thought for you, for everyone listening, your starting point, the Denny's booth. Maybe it doesn't matter as much as we think. What really matters is, are you willing to build something so precise, so patient, and ultimately so necessary that one day the world literally can't function without it? That's more than just success, isn't it?
That strategy turned into legacy.
Strategy turned into legacy. A good place to leave it.